Hey guys, for this video, I want to go over a few things to consider when purchasing an SD card, a micro SD card, and I also wanted to show you this SD card case because it's a really handy way to keep your stuff organized. This one's by JJC. It's got a little latch on the front here that we can flip open. It holds 12 full-size SD cards or 24 micro SD cards, and you see there's this foam insert that holds everything in place so it won't fall out or anything on you, and everything's got a little tab so you can just lift it up and you can see the other cards fit right behind there. So the more electronic devices we get in our lives, the more memory cards we are going to have and accumulate and may have for different purposes, so it's really nice to have a place to store all of them. Now, as for the SD cards themselves, it's really helpful if you are buying the card for a specific device. Like I record my videos on my cell phone, I need a micro SD card with lots of space to record all these videos that I make. So a high gigabyte micro SD card is very important to me in that scenario. You may have some other device where, for instance, I'm going to put some games on an SD card. The games are only about 1 gigabyte, so this 4 gigabyte is plenty for me. It would be a waste for me to buy a 128 gigabyte SD card if I'm only going to use 1 gigabyte. Also, if you look at the instruction manual of your device, it may have, or probably going to have, a max capacity that it'll work with. So like, for instance, a dash cam, it may say it can hold up to 32 gigabytes or 64 gigabytes. Now, if you put in a larger card, it'll probably work, but it won't record anything past that. It won't recognize that extra capacity, so again, it's a waste. So you want to make sure your gigabyte rating is in line with whatever device you're going to be using. Also, all these SD cards have class ratings on them. So, see, the Samsung is a class 10. This SanDisk is a class 4. And that's the speed of the card. So a 10 is 10 megabytes per second. A 4 is 4 megabytes per second. Now, the 10 is as high as it goes. You could get one, let's say it's 80 megabytes per second. A lot of times what you'll see is it'll say up to. And up to really means nothing, because is that what it's really in real life going to run at? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. There's a lot of factors that play into that. But when looking at these, generally you're going to want to stick with the class 10s. Not every device is going to need class 10, but no device is going to be hurt by using the class 10. And again, your user manual for that product will tell you what class is required. Another thing I wanted to mention is I generally like to stick with the name brands that we all know and have heard of, because I just have more trust in these products. With your SD card, you're probably using it for something important. It's the pictures on your phone or your digital camera, or it's some videos that you're recording. If it's your dash cam, well, maybe you have the dash cam, and if you ever get in an accident, then you have record of what happened. Or you get rid of the memory card if you don't want record of what happened. But the point is, it's important stuff, and the price difference between name brand and generic isn't huge, so you really don't want to cheap out on it. Now, some devices you get will come with their own memory card. Like I have this black one here that's just a generic card that came with something. I actually bought myself this Kexin one, however you say it, the 128 gigabyte, and I haven't had any problems with it. It's been just fine. I bought the SanDisk. Again, SanDisk is a name that has been around forever with computer stuff. That's a 16 gigabyte. And you can see the ones I haven't even opened that just came in today are the Samsungs, which everyone's heard of Samsung. A couple of other SD card and micro SD cards that I own and use is this SanDisk Ultra. You see it's a class 10, 16 gigabyte. This Centon is just a class 4, 8 gigabyte. The one thing nice about the full-size SD cards is usually they have a spot on the label where you can actually label it, unlike the micros, which are too small for that. A SanDisk Ultra Micro SD 32 gigabyte, that's a class 10. Here's the Transcend, only a class 2, 4 gigabyte. And you want to consider getting an SD card reader like this one. This is IO Gear. I've had it for about 5 years. Plugs into your USB port on that side, and then it has 2 slots here, one for the full-size SD card and one for the micro. And depending what you are trying to read off of, if you want to plug these into your computer, a lot of computers don't have a built-in card reader like this, so you're going to need one of these guys to pull files off of it. Pay attention to the class. How big of a memory card is it? 4 gigabyte, 128 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte. Obviously, more gigabytes, the more you pay, generally speaking. And do you need a full-size SD card, which is like the size of a stamp, or one of these micro SD cards? So those are the things to consider. Thanks for watching.